Here from Duck Donuts on Pelham Road in Greenville, South Carolina, guys. I'm telling you right now, probably the tastiest treat I've had in quite a time. I think I told Grayson about this after my first visit over here. They've got one of the most delectable things I've ever had in my mind. And I'm a bacon freak, okay? And they have a bacon maple glazed donut that will absolutely drive you out of your mind. You got to try. But listen, we'll talk about Duck Donuts later when Jennifer, the owner, comes up and talks to us. But right now, Grayson, Clemson Sports News Live Night, coming off that lost at Notre Dame. The Tigers now dropped down to number 10 in the playoff rankings. This week it's Louisville.
Yeah, I think I want to take a shout out to our guy at Rigsby's, Avery Porter, who called it correctly. Actually had a really good week of picks. And
yeah, he did.
Have him back on.
He was the Christian Wilkins of picks for our show this year so far. But we got our special guest will be tonight. Other than Jennifer, Josh from I Bleed Orange will come in. He's one of our regulars. He's also a CSN contributor. He's also a director of marketing coming out of a couple meetings. But he's going to join us later for a pick segment. But let's talk about that game last week. You know, me and you were in the press box after we had our jaws brought back up to the ground from the ground after walking around campus and just absolutely being awe-inspired by all the great things. I mean, you talk about a beautiful campus. I mean, we were in the middle of 40, 50-mile-an-hour gusts. I mean, hurricane gusts. But it was still beautiful. I mean, was it not?
Oh, I was talking to my buddies and my friends back home asking me, how was the trip? And I was just like, I think everything that we walked by had some sort of significance or some story to tell. And it was honestly one of the better trips in terms of just I learned so much and gained a lot of firsts for me that weekend.
I honestly, in the hospitality, I can't get over the hospitality.
Yeah.
Honestly, from the fans to the staff at the stadium to the folks up in the press box to the parking attendants, everyone up that way after we got into Notre Dame. Absolutely, just lovely people. I enjoy it. I mean, I told Grayson, if you're going to lose to a bunch of folks, what a better bunch of folks to lose to. Because even when they were rushing the field, me and Grayson are standing on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And they're coming over the walls. I'm like, Grayson, tuck to the wall. And it didn't get that bad. They were just happy. And again, we saw a game where we saw our Tigers go in there, deflate, and absolutely lay a goose egg on the field offensively and defensively. It just seems at times they couldn't stop Notre Dame doing exactly what Notre Dame said they were going to do coming in.
You know, Notre Dame put on their big boy pants, and they really took it to Clemson and just kind of – you didn't expect it coming in. You were kind of like foreseeing, okay, when's that challenge going to come? Where, like the Syracuse game, when are they going to struggle? When are they going to have that game where they overcome that adversity? And it felt like they hit a wall and just couldn't really climb it.
It looked like DJ had reverted back to DJ of 2021 last week. I thought that, but at the end of the game, I will say this: when they went into the 2-minute drill, into the tempo, DJ did get a rhythm going and started to connect with some guys. But look, you lost Bo Collins last week to an injury. What's the receiving core going to look like this week? You know, and then you got a lot of issues you have got to play out in that defense, especially with a guy coming in this week that's being compared to Lamar Jackson and with good right. You know, the Louisville guys are very athletic on both sides of the ball and a very active defensive front. I'm looking for a good game this week and a tricky one.
Yeah, Malik Cunningham last year gave the Tigers problems, I think.
Oh, fits. Absolute fits. That game didn't get decided till the last series.
And he was out for a portion of that game, too.
Yes, he was.
He had to sit on the sidelines for part of it.
And I think that was the big reason why Clemson won that game.
Yes,
this guy is a game changer. But, again, they're in Death Valley.
Yes.
At 3:30. It's going to be overcast and windy and just gloomy, so lights are going to be on. So that's going to jazz folks up right there.
I want to go back to what you said about Clemson and that tempo. Whenever they're running the ball, whenever they're moving the ball quickly, not talking about moving – down the field, is talking about getting everything set, and they're go, they go instead of it feels they drag on those drives. It feels like they perform best when they're not really having to think about it. They can just play and go and move at a quick motion.
Absolutely. Just like in life, you know, instincts let you naturally do things. You just do them naturally. Same thing when you're playing a sport or anything else. You know, we talk about reps, you know, in high school, you know, in practice to getting people used to something, but you want muscle memory and where it becomes like it's almost natural. And that's what it looked like at the end of the game when it just let the guys go and not think about it. So when you stop and you have to think, that's when you cause issues. Yeah. You got 11 guys trying to think, and there's one guy up top trying to think for all 11.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of storylines, a lot of questions from this weekend, just like what happened,
where the running game goes. Yeah. I want to know what happened to Will Shipley in the second half. He was averaging almost 7 yards a carry in the first half, and in the second half they completely abandoned him. And that game, that part of the game plan could have worked well against Notre Dame and been a tete-a-tete, you know what I'm saying? It would have been a line of scrimmage kind of football game, I think. And that's kind of what I was expecting the Tigers to go do anyway, but they didn't.
It felt like that block punt at the beginning was that punch in the mouth that Notre Dame needed to kind of believe that, say, hey, we can go and win this game. And they took it from there, and they never let their
What's amazing is that that guy came free through, and Orukororo just let him go right through. But that's not just a fluke, guys. Notre Dame's blocked 6 kicks to lead the nation, along with South Carolina in block punts this year. And so again, I'm going to tell you something that should have been sought out and seen and prepared for a little better. Because if you know that the nation's leaders coming in blocking kicks, I think you take a little bit more time and preparation on that kick formation.
Yeah, special teams can make a whole of a difference.
They are. You got to hit all 3 areas. Like Dabo says, you have to win all 3 areas to win a football game. And it's true. With BT Potter, you can almost count on the guy. He's, in 90%, almost a 90% kicker. But you got guys that, your punting is like the punting during the game. It was suspect even after that.
Yeah, I think
field position was a big deal last week. Big deal.
Potter, semifinalist for one of the best kickers in the nation.
Yeah, that just announced just today. Yeah. I got that released from Clemson, and from and Potter is now announced as a Grosso Award finalist. Yeah, sorry about that. Hard to remember. Way back in the 50s for Lou Grosso, but there you go. Lou Grosso Award finalist, BT Potter, but I think he's the nation's best kicker. I tell you one thing, if I'm an NFL general manager, I'm taking a look at BT Potter as one of the guys I'm looking forward to getting in my training camp.
Yeah, I think he's someone that you don't find many kickers like that, especially in college football that are surefire when you get to a certain down and distance.
Hey, you heard the guys on ESPN all the time, college kicker.
That's right.
It's always a college kicker issue, but getting back to the game, getting back to last week, I saw Clemson get dominated on the offensive and defensive lines at one point during that game. Notre Dame just put on the defensive line, could not get off of blocks. They go into that 13 personnel where they were 3 tight ends strong, and man, they just said, we're coming at you, and did it.
How about Marcus Freeman? That's what we're talking about. I think I put it into my post-game article. It was either going to be another win for Clemson or Marcus Freeman's signature win for the start of his coaching career.
That's a signature win for the program. I think we've talked to some Notre Dame grads and some guys that took us around campus. They told us that was their biggest win since going back to '83 against Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, that's saying a lot.
And you had the 2020.
And you got to remember the 2020 game was number 2 Clemson. The number 1 ranked Clemson showed up and got beat.
They kind of probably put that in the back burner just because nobody was there for that game.
Right,
and
right.
They ended up getting beat
I
by
think
Clemson
that 2020 win was a much better win than this one because of the talent that was there.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot lacking right now in the Clemson wide receiver corps. And by the way, speaking of wide receiver corps, we got news this week, and we reported it. Jeff Scott lost his job at USF Saturday after the game. They lost to Temple big, and then Jeff's won like 3 games in 3 years there, and he lost his job there. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man, a lot of folks talking, and I'm hearing a lot in the rumor mill about him possibly having a role back with the Tigers someday soon, as an analyst.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans, especially this week alone, in an isolated situation, a lot of the talk is about the coordinators and saying, hey, could Jeff Scott come back, especially if he's at USF and he's struggling and if he ends up getting fired, which he did.
Well, his success, you
happen?
wrote an article on his success while at Clemson as a recruiter, as a wide receivers coach, through success, the results on the field and off the field as well, with guys like Hunter Renfrow all the way to Sammy Watkins and everyone in between, the Nuke Hopkinses, the guys that he developed, the T. Higgins, the Justin Rosses, they all came from Jeff Scott. Even Joseph Ngata is a Jeff Scott protege. So, I mean, you're looking at guys that were being coached up really hard. And here late in the last couple of years, we've seen a big drop off in wide receiver play, even on the fundamental side of things.
Yeah, that first drive alone, we had Bo Collins have 2 holding penalties.
That's a good example right there.
And then the block punt. It's all part of a big domino effect. One play can affect the other.
Absolutely. You got to be in this day and age in college football. You don't walk into a blue blood like Notre Dame, even with an off year, and play your B game. You have to roll in with your A game because they're going to give their A game at home every time they can. It's just the way they play. And that's the way blue bloods play. That's why I think this weekend Clemson plays with that blue blood type mentality at their house. 38 straight wins in the ACC. Not ready to give that up just quite yet, I don't think.
Well, let's hope not just yet for Clemson fans, because if they lose 2 straight, that's going to be a
there'll be a lot of talk around here about some changes.
There's
a song by an artist named John Waite, one of my favorite guys, and it's called Changes. And there'll be a lot of that going on. If you lose 2 straight here, you'll have Dabo coming to Jesus this week with some coaches, during weekly meetings there on Sunday evening, talking things out for going into next week, because they want to legitimately, like Dabo said, they've already won the Atlantic Division, going to the ACC championship. That's already done. It's probably going to be North Carolina. We don't know yet, but it's already done. It's clinched. But Dabo said last week at the press conference in Notre Dame that he wanted to win the thing outright. He wanted to win it on the field, and that's this weekend. And I think we got away with no orange britches. We'll see.
Yeah, I think we did.
They think they're purple over purple, but don't be surprised if they come out of the locker room after they go in and change or some stuff, because they've done that kind of stuff in the past. Purple over orange might show up. I hope not. I'm not a fan of it. I'm a purple guy.
It's very divided right now. People that I talked to last night, they said, I want purple orange so bad. They just want to see that combination.
It's just not a favorite combination for me. You'd have to go with all white shoes, because purple over orange with those orange shoes. Just me. I don't know. All right, but either way, we'll get off the fashion, because fashion doesn't matter, because the uniform doesn't matter, because Clemson never changes that uniform. Same helmet, same pads, same pants every game. 2 stripes down the middle, that kind of thing. That's one thing you can always count on. You won't see any alternate kind of uniforms from Clemson. You'll see a combination change, never an alternate uniform. But that's the big weekend, military appreciation weekend this weekend. I mean, you stop by the Scroll of Honor, guys. The Scroll of Honor is located right there by the east end zone, adjacent to the scoreboard. It's beautiful. It's a mound of dirt that has been laden with grass and surrounded with bricks, and each one of those bricks has a name and a year on it. And that's a Clemson graduate that gave his life serving our country. And I think there's over 460 or 70 representatives right now on that scroll. And we place flags out there every Memorial Day and to celebrate these guys for the things that they do. I just want to tell everybody, Clemson was a military school for a long time, and it still has its military tradition and roots in it. You can find it all over campus. A great big ROTC there presence. The Clemson Corps is a big deal, guys. They're really good. You'll see them on Saturday as well with their presentation. We might, if the weather permits, probably see a flyby. But nobody does military appreciation like Clemson, guys. And it makes you proud to be a Tiger. And if you're going to be at the game, be sure to stay at halftime and pay attention. And everybody remember our troops, past, present, and future.
And if you're on Twitter at home and you're not able to make it to the game, I'm sure one of us will have a video of some sort of.
Oh yeah, you find us on Twitter, you'll see it going down, because me and Grayson don't let too much get by up in that box. We're constantly elbowing each other the whole time. You got that, I got this one, you get this one.
I can tell you guys firsthand that my left arm at the end of the games gets a little sore, because Gary's like, you got that great. I'm like,
Well, we have a good time covering the games, guys, because we love Clemson, and Grayson is a communications major there, a sports communications major, as a matter of fact. He'll be heading to ESPN one day. I'll still be right here in Clemson watching and hoping he remembers me. But we're gonna sit here and talk a little bit about this week's game and what we see coming up. Again, Malik Cunningham.
That's the player.
The guy is an absolute nightmare. He's like bottled up dynamite. You don't know which way he's going to go when he explodes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, because you don't know which way that explosion is going to take off when it comes out of that bottle. So you got to watch out. Malik Cunningham, dangerous. Their running game, dangerous because of Malik Cunningham. Now, they've got a couple outside possession receivers, but they don't have Tutu Atwell anymore. That guy that could Zay Flowers you down the field and find all these slot. The slot guy, you just don't have a guy for.
They don't have a big play receiver, but they have Malik Cunningham who can make big plays.
And he has a good arm on him. Does he not just look like Lamar Jackson?
It's like a bigger Lamar. He's like a little beefier Lamar Jackson.
He is Lamar Jackson with his release point, the way he carries himself in the pocket, the way he attacks the football when the running game. All that just reminds me of Lamar Jackson. It's like he sat back and started just playing him on the video games, and I got this.
Louisville's also playing their best ball. I believe they won 5 out of the last 6 games. They picked it up after a slow start to the season.
Well, that coaching staff was having a hard time at the beginning of the year, catching a lot of flack for the way they started the season. They had a couple really bad losses at the beginning of the year, but now starting to put things together. But again, guys, big difference in being in Cardinal Stadium and winning and coming to Death Valley and winning. Louisville, I think, has never won. I think Clemson's undefeated, guys, 6-0 against Louisville all the time, and they've never even thought about winning. Now, some really classic games in Death Valley. You remember Marcus Edmond, the big Louisville Lamar Jackson game where he saved him going down the sidelines. That was a great game. That's probably one of the top 5 all time I've ever been to at Death Valley.
Yeah, I was at home.
I was in the box.
I was a freshman in high school.
Trying to stay in my seat. It was one back and forth. It was one of those tennis match games where your neck hurts from watching them go back and forth all night long. It was one of those brutal boxing matches where they're standing toe to toe in the middle of the ring and just whack. It's like a rock'em sock'em robots when you was kids. You ever see those?
think so.
Oh, they're great. We'll look them up. Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Sock'em.
Anybody from the 80s and 70s knows what a Rock'em Sock'em Robot is. But you got to find one, man. They're great. It's a little toy you play with, two robots, they bite each other. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Great stuff. But yeah, so this weekend, no Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I think Clemson actually is going to put a lot of things to bed. I think they had their coming to Jesus meeting this week.
No
I think
pun
they got
intended.
home, and no pun intended. They came home this week, and some things had to be said to each other. And you heard of a players only meeting a while back. This time, I think the players only meeting was for real a eye opening experience. I think the same thing happened this week.
Sometimes you got to get kicked in the face to kind of reevaluate and they still have a lot to play for this season. There's this air from last year, this year. It's like, oh, if they don't go to the playoffs, it's a busted season. If they go to a New Year's Six Bowl and win the ACC, maybe the Orange Bowl, great year for a program.
Right. And I tell you, the Miami, I've already planned on a trip there. I think that's where we're ending up. I think we're ending up. You know what I'd like to see us play? I'd like to see Clemson and Michigan in that bowl game. That'd be a great matchup. But by the way, in the top 10 still in the BCS. So the guys, we still have a slim outside chance of the BCS. Of the playoffs.
Chaos.
I mean, we might slide in at the very back end. But Clemson's going to have to really put some decisive and really just, without a doubt, performances together the next 3 weeks for style points to even think about creating. And some things have got to happen in front of them. A lot of things, as a matter of fact, are going to have to happen in front of them. Starting with, I think Texas takes out TCU. You'll find that in my picks later, but I think Texas this week will drop TCU out. So they're going to fall back. Clemson will fall forward.
And the committee already showed that they think that Clemson's better than a Michigan in terms of out of conference schedule, and TCU didn't get respected initially.
Yeah, the AP dropped Clemson back to 12th, and then that keeps him BCS. It's not 1998, Gary, the relic, but it's the playoff committee keeps putting Clemson, gives them a benefit of the doubt because of the body of work. And again, this happens every year when Clemson plays in the ACC schedule at the beginning to the mid to that 3/4 of the year mark. No one wants to get the ACC credit. When the body of work's all said and done at the end of the year, you look back and wow, half the ACC was eight wins and above. These guys were all 6 wins and above. There's only a couple really tanked out teams at 3 and below. I mean, it really plays itself out, and all these teams are in the bowls. I mean, I think it's the ACC and the SEC every year that lead in bowl games.
That's right. If you guys also want to see an article of kind of just me trying to drive myself crazy by trying to find a playoff scenario for Clemson, I'll go and get to the old drawing board and write it up for y'all.
Well, we'll tell you what, we'll have Grayson go nuts this week and throw a bunch of scenarios out there, and you guys can we'll have him do an article exactly on that playoff picture, we'll call it, and we'll see what we can come up with and all the different scenarios, and we'll run all the models.
I'll be that insight that
we'll get the algorithms out. Okay.
I'll get that little meme of Kermit typing, and he's like going nuts.
Yeah, but hey guys, again, we're at Duck Donuts. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now. Can you smell this place?
It makes me hungry.
It's making you hungry. What do you smell? I can almost taste it on my lips. But hey, Jennifer, the owner of Duck Donuts, come up right now. Look what she's got in her hand. Look what she's got in her hand. I want you guys to see this. Raise that up, Jennifer. A tiger paw duck donut. Here he stands here and he guards the place. She's got him up on the shelf there. I said, you got to bring him and show him to everybody. But this is Jennifer, the owner of Duck Donuts. And Jennifer, we met you a couple weeks back. Me and Josh stopped by here to say hello and introduce you. And we were dying to get you as part of our family of sponsors. And boy, she came on board. And I tell you, I couldn't be prouder because everybody goes, oh, I know those guys. And I got friends from all over the country now telling me, oh, Duck Donuts. They know all about you. So tell us about how you guys ended up from Iowa all the way in South Carolina and doing Duck Donuts here.
So I was born and raised in Iowa, and I met my husband, who's a vet.
Hey man, come on in here.
Yeah.
Mike Dilly.
Mike Dilly and Jennifer Dilly, guys. Again, the owners of Duck Donuts here. We were on Pelham Road, right between Five Guys and Eggs Up Grill over here. Matter of fact, Eggs Up Grill is another one of our sponsors. Did you know that? Did you see it on the website? Yeah, so that's kind of cool. And we got 2 of them right here, Grayson.
We're building like a brand location. We're like,
honestly, I know one thing. Grayson, I told him he's never been here before. I said you got to try that bacon maple glazed donut that they're famous for. It is. It's absolutely tasty, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you can cut it up with a knife and eat it piece by piece. But talk about Duck Donuts and some of the things you got going on. I know that a lot of stuff went on over Halloween, and now we got Thanksgiving coming up, and then you got the holidays coming up and some things going on there.
Yeah, so we had our Halloween dozen. Our spooky box went through our Halloween. Now we're in our fall box. We have our fall assortment, and then that will end at the end of the month. So then we start into our Christmas assortments, and that'll be from November 25th to January 1st. Everything's mint. We got the mint icing, the mint shakes. Yes.
Oh wow, shakes.
The shakes. We got the espressos, the peppermint espressos. We also have our next assortment is our lovers assortment, and it's got everything chocolate. It's going to be amazing.
You guys are open early in the morning and stay up open kind of late to like 8 o'clock, isn't it right? Because you got
7 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day.
I think you told me you have a late rush that comes in every night too. But explain your hours and what you guys provide. Like in the mornings, a big coffee rush thing going on here.
Yeah, so first thing in the mornings, we open at 7, and we usually get that business crowd that come in. We got those coffee buckets. We have the coffees, the espressos coming. We got all the dozens ready to go for them when they come in. Make them fresh, made to order.
Yep.
And then, in the evening, we have that dinner rush that comes in. They want those milkshakes. They want those donuts, that late night snack. So they come in and they get those, and we're very happy to oblige.
So you guys acclimated quite well here to the upstate of South Carolina from up in Iowa. I know about me and her talks about Hy-Vee grocery stores and all those cool things. Man, I've been up. I used to have a girlfriend up there back in the day. But being a Hawkeye or a Cyclone or whatever you were back in the day, now coming down here and you got a bunch of Tigers running around, a bunch of Gamecocks, and even a Wofford Terrier or two. We got them all on the website. We've got some Hawkeyes that show up. We've got some people hitting us from Iowa. But everybody wants to know about college football, and we do a great job of sharing our audience with great places like this. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, you won't find a better spot to come grab a treat. We like one-of-a-kind treats, and we have two sponsors on the site like that, being Duck Donuts and our fellow, the Pound Cake Man, and you guys ought to get together one day and do something together. The Pound Cake Donut.
We will
Let's do it.
That would be crazy, wouldn't it? The Pound Cake, and he would do it too. He's a great guy. You ought to go see him. He does a lot of stuff with his truck. He has a food truck that he drives around, does a lot of good stuff with. But his dad's real famous at Clemson. They invented this thing called the $2 bill. Have you heard about the $2 bill?
Yeah.
They take a $2 bill and stamp it with tiger paws. And when the tigers go out of town, when they're doing business, people will pay for their goods with the $2 bills to show their impact to the local community. And they did that long time ago, and they do it everywhere they go now. So when I go out of town, I always go to the bank, get a couple $100 for $2 bills, stamp them up. Pay them $2, and then you got to see the reaction you get with $2 bill these days. People go, "This ain't real."
Yes, it is.
These kids have never seen it,
It's crazy, right?
But hey, guys, tell everybody what's going on today, and look behind you right here. Staff, hard at work. I'm gonna tell you right now, before I get out of here, I am grabbing a couple of those to go home with. Okay, one of those, I got 3 dogs at home too. One of those maple bacon donuts will get cut up 3 ways. For sure, they're gonna love that. But guys, before you get out of here, tell us about anything you might got going on, Jennifer. And guys, we'll be back. We'll be back. We're gonna have a taste test here one day. I can promise you.
I'll be back.
Well, we do have our buy one, get one free Black Friday coffee special we have going on. It includes all the hot coffees, the espressos, the fraps, everything. Buy one, get one free for the whole Black Friday day. And then we have our holiday catering where you can get $5 off 3 dozen, or you can get $10 off of 5 dozen for any of our holiday caterings, where we can dye icing and custom any of those donuts for any of those catering.
And guys, when she says custom, I mean custom. They make them right there. Look right there. Look at him glazing up that donut right now, and he's dripping on chocolate sauce. Oh, look at that, man. I'm telling you, I'm a chocolate freak. I was born in Germany, so I'm a chocoholic in the blood. But man, I'm gonna tell you right now, my girlfriend, she can get mad at me, but I'm getting a half a dozen on the way home, honey. I'm sorry. Just got to.
I got a question. So I got a lot of friends down at Clemson.
I'm loving my duck
Greenville on the weekend. So a lot of my friends were, "Hey, we're gonna go to Greenville tonight. Or we're gonna go for the weekend." What would you recommend to them if they wanted to stop by here and maybe try something for the first time?
Well, my favorite donut is the French toast, and I know you have a favorite donut as well.
Yeah, mine's the Midnight Madness.
Midnight Madness. And what's on with that? Talk to it.
It's a chocolate with the chocolate drizzle and some sprinkles. It's all chocolate. It's perfect. It may have been, yes.
That's
That's neat.
That's me. No, that's just like you said it. That and a couple of those maple bacon donuts. And I see Josh, our marketing director, in the background there. He's salivating on some things too, isn't he, over there?
Josh is on the prowl.
He's on the prowl. He's not leaving without a donut in his belly. I know him. He's like that. He's kind of like the Austin Powers character. Get in my belly. Get in there. That's going to be me tonight when I'm eating my donuts. And by the way, the last one I kept it overnight in the refrigerator, in the box. It was amazing the next day.
For 3 days.
It was amazing. I pulled it out and I was like, I carved it up with a knife and it cut like a cake. It was cut like a cake.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
3 days, 8 to 10 seconds in the microwave. Perfect.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
There you go.
Another thing we're doing is on game days for Clemson.
There we
we're
go.
doing a Clemson dozen. It's the Tiger 12. And we dye the icing all the Clemson colors and sprinkles.
You got to send us
So
some
we do-
photos of that for
we
us to
do
put
those
into
as
your
well.
slideshow.
Yeah.
Because guys, if you go to our website, you'll see on the right side, or if you're on mobile, you'll see it anyway. There's a Duck Donut slideshow. We put all the latest specials and the latest design donuts on there. And man, just a regular Duck Donut dozen. That one dozen alone looks tasty enough for me. I'm again, guys, Duck Donuts, Greenville, Pellet here off of I-85. Fight that little red light, get in here next to Five Guys, and you're going to find the coolest little donut shop you found. I'm going to tell you something. This ain't your regular old donut shop we grew up with right here. You know what I'm talking about. All right. So let's get back to talking football, guys. A pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolute. Jennifer, guys, have a great night. We'll see you guys in a minute. And you have to get them donuts ready. I'm telling you right now, I am ready. All right. All right. So it's about time to do some picks.
It is time.
It is time. Josh, you want to join us, my friend?
Josh.
Oh, you got something to show off?
Oh.
Josh, you need to bring those over here. Stop eating, Josh. Show us, bring them, Josh. Show them on camera. Look what they just brought us. Look what they just brought us. Now show them and get them on camera. Raise up. Look at that. Look at that, y'all.
Best donuts on the planet Earth.
They are glistening. Look at that. There's that maple bacon glaze. Oh my gosh. Look at that thing. All right, guys, get back over here. You got to start. Come here, Jennifer. You got to identify. All right, knock them out. Ready? What do you got here?
This is our
Sunrise.
cinnamon with raspberry,
And what do you got there?
maple bacon. That is our cinnamon bun. It's cinnamon sugar with vanilla drizzle.
Okay.
That's our peanut butter
that one.
paradise with peanut butter icing and chocolate drizzle.
Oh, I gotta have one of those. I'm a Reese's cup guy. So what's got there?
Pina colada. It's our lemon with coconut.
Whoa! That's you kids. You guys. You want to sit them over here?
It's
Pina
really
colada,
good. Our
man.
lemon icing is
That's your
amazing.
classic donut.
That is our classic. That's our glazed donut. We have, that's our pumpkin.
Never go wrong with
That's
a
our
classic,
pumpkin
y'all.
roll. It's got the pumpkin icing with vanilla
Okay.
drizzle, and then we have that's the Midnight Madness.
This is Midnight Madness.
That's the Midnight Madness
Oh,
right there.
wow.
You got a
That's why you
chocolate.
like it. Okay, and this one?
This one's our cookies and cream.
Okay, it looks like it.
Does look.
That's our chocolate with peanuts, and then you got our strawberry confetti.
That looks like something from The Simpsons.
Oh yeah,
Unbelievable.
that's
no, it's just like
very
the
popular
Simpsons.
donut. They love those.
Donuts.
Thanks, guys. Again, Duck Donuts and Jennifer and the guys that here. You can't believe it, guys. I'm going to walk out here. It's already tastes on my tongue. I'm already tasting it. I can taste it. I just was smelling it. Oof. I feel like Homer Simpson right now. Dope. I want me a donut. How about you? I'm ready. All right, so let's talk picks. Josh, you ready to get in here? We got Josh, our marketing director, and he's also the guy that founded I Bleed Orange, the Facebook group with 21,000+ tigers in there. Here he is, the man himself, Josh Starnes.
All right. How y'all doing?
All right.
Great Friday afternoon.
Hey, man, what about it, Josh? Well, how you been doing? I mean, did you get up to the weather? I know you've been having some meetings with folks and stuff.
Oh, yeah. About needed a boat today.
I need a boat. Yeah, it is.
Couple new sponsors come on board.
Yeah. Tell me, who would we get that?
Garrett's Golf Course.
Garrett's Golf Course. Yeah.
Actually does the golf course at Clemson University. Just found that out.
Yeah. We got Garrett's Golf Course came on board today. Earlier this week, we had a meeting with Adventure RV, and they came on board. And
Championship there.
yeah, and Duck Donuts. I mean, we can't say enough. These guys came on board about 3 weeks ago, and I mean, absolutely, one of mine and Josh's first finds. Josh brought us over here and had us all meet with him. But hey, let's talk about football. Let's talk football.
All right.
Let's get on those picks. Grayson, let's go. Pick them, folks.
All right, so we're going to start the first one with got a lot of momentum recently. LSU, who just took down Alabama last week, they're going to Arkansas to take on KJ Jefferson and that crew. Guys, who do we got? LSU's a 7.5-point favorite.
LSU at Arkansas, 7.5-point favorite. KJ Jefferson. Any injuries on that Arkansas side?
Not at all. Not that I'm aware of.
I think that plateaus. You know, at the beginning of the year, the Arkansas fan base was screaming national championship
And they-
because of KJ Jefferson and their defense and all and things and the way that last year ended out for them. I said 8-4, 9-3. Exactly where they're going to be. Exactly where they're going to be. They lose this week to LSU.
Okay. Josh, what do you got?
LSU, they're on a roll. They got momentum. Beat
Yep.
Alabama. LSU.
I think LSU, they struggle a little bit in the first half, kind of coming down to earth a little bit. You're going to hear a little Twitter noise, but they're going to come out and take care of business.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'll be honest with you. Their quarterback is – I mean, ever since he was at Arizona State, big fan. Big fan of that kid.
All right, the next one, Alabama at Ole Miss, another SEC matchup where a team they kind of got a lot of like Clemson, a lot of talk surrounding this team about where they're headed and whether their dynastic tendencies may be done. Does Alabama get back on track at Ole Miss this weekend?
This isn't one of those Ole Miss teams that scared you years ago with a Chad Kelly group there with the big wide receivers, the Metcalfs, and all those guys. But, man, you go into Vaught Hemingway Stadium, it's small, 40,000 maybe. It reminds you of Wake Forest, but a little bit bigger. Not much, but they are famous for the Grove, their tailgating area when you're under the trees. But I don't know, man. I think Alabama comes in this week and really goes, look, man, time to put our foot down and stop the bleeding. And I think they stopped the bleeding this week in Jackson at Ole Miss, and I think the Rebels lose.
I'll go with what Gary said. Alabama's got a chip on the shoulder. I mean, it's going to be a good game. It ain't going to be a blowout.
It ain't going to be a blowout. I agree.
And
It'll be a
believe
little
that,
fourth quarter game.
Ole Miss is going to score some points. I think it's going to be kind of a high-scoring game. But when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, I think, I forgot my train of thought.
Yeah. You got Alabama.
Alabama's going to win.
Yeah, Alabama.
All right, guys. I'm gonna shock some of y'all. This is an Alabama team only in name. This is a team that's got a lot of problems surrounding them. Bryce Young is literally carrying this team on his back.
Agreed on that one.
I'm going to take Ole Miss in this one. I think Jackson Dart does a little too much for this Alabama defense, and I think we're going to see some talks next week about the future of that Alabama program. I'm going to take Ole Miss and be bold here. And take the Rebels.
That's a lot. I'll be honest with you. I was really close here. I was really close, but I like your pick.
Yeah.
I like
All
your
right, the
pick
next
a lot.
one, Maryland, who's a big challenger, 6-2 at going to Penn State. This is a big game. Talia Tagovailoa has been playing really great football. They give Michigan their best challenge of the season.
He was injured earlier in the year.
He was.
Briefly, a shoulder injury, right? Was his non-throwing shoulder?
There was a point where both Tagovailoa brothers were hurt.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I talked about Josh this one earlier. I told him, I said, man, Maryland scares me.
Maryland does.
Maryland scares me, and Penn State can get really complacent on offense and defense. I'm gonna go Maryland in the upset inside of Happy Valley.
I don't see that.
Look at that look you got. That was not.
So we got not so fast, and we got.
I don't see that. I like this one
I think
better.
Maryland will give a good game, but not at home. Penn State. I see Penn State by a touchdown.
You may not see it, but me and Gary do. I'm taking Maryland.
Yeah. We got a lot of offense there. They're really good on the offense side of football.
You may say that this doesn't deserve game day, but I personally believe in my heart it should not. It should have been the game day location. UCF and Tulane. Tulane, one of the better Group 5 teams this year, playing like a little bit of a Cinderella team, trying to get a New Year's 6 bid. Who do you have in this matchup?
I'll be honest with you. I'll give you a little stat on Tulane you never knew about. 0-60 all time versus top 25 competition.
My gosh.
0-60 all time versus top 25 competition. Last time they won a game against top 20, a top 25 team was prior to the AP poll in 1936.
Wow.
Okay. This team, though, has really got things going down there. They came out of COVID, one of those teams that just was down there just brewing some really wicked stuff up. I see Tulane winning over UCF at Tulane. It's at home.
Yep.
It's a Tulane win. Go Green Wave.
I don't see it. 0-65?
It's 0-60.
0-60. Okay, 0-61.
0-61. Even though they're 17th ranked and they're 22 ranked.
There's a lot of buzz with Malzahn has done with UCF, really turned that program around.
Yeah, well, there was nothing to turn around.
Yeah, with Cincinnati's Mackenzie Milton, they were a pretty solid, consistent team.
Yeah.
I'm going to take UCF in this matchup. I think that they're going to do just enough to get by Tulane.
I like to call, again, like both of your picks, I'm going to go with the Green Wave. Roll, baby, roll. By the way, that's where Clemson practices during their trips down there for the playoff in the Superdome.
Cursed.
Yep, cursed. But that's where Clemson practices, Tulane Stadium, which is it's weird. It's almost like being in a tennis stadium.
It's funny.
It looks like a tennis stadium. It's just strange.
So this is a good matchup for a lot of reasons. South Carolina, they're bowl eligible, 6-3, going to Florida. The Florida Gators are 5-4, coming off of a win against Texas A&M. Does Anthony Richardson have some magic in him to get Florida bowl eligible, or does South Carolina go 7-3?
I tell you, man, South Carolina, a team that's bowl eligible, but you couldn't tell it by their fan base. You couldn't tell it by the talk going on about their offensive coordinator and the things that are going on there. That win at Vanderbilt was much needed. But at the same time, I don't think you solved anything. You didn't answer any questions there because that was going to happen anyway. We could have put our third string out there and done that too. Me and Grayson and Josh could have fielded the team and scored 30 on Vanderbilt. I don't know what you do there. Going into Florida, hostile environment. They're wanting to get bowl eligible. They're dying for a good win down there in Florida. They haven't had one since the opener at the season when they took out Utah, and everybody thought, wow, Heisman contender. Wow, Florida's coming back. Whoa. Guess what? Hit the brakes about halfway through the season. But here we are now. I think Florida comes in. I changed my pick earlier. I told you I thought the Gamecocks was going to take this. I think Florida finds a way to win this one. It'll be a fourth quarter game, 28-24 kind of game.
We're going down to Gator country. As much as I hate to say, it's going to be chomp chomp. Much as I hate that thing, it's going to be doing this. Yeah.
There you go.
I think we need a
Good
soundbite
man's
of
gonna
that.
win.
We should need to put that on Twitter with no context. You two just doing the chomp. I'm going to take South Carolina in this one. I feel like I like being the Wolf this week. The Gamecocks are doing something. I think they're going to make a lot of fans happy this week and get to 7-3, maybe a spot in the CFP rankings. That'd be kind of cool to see.
Oh, I think so too. I mean,
So that's
they
they
fell into the 25 and out of the 25 in the same week earlier this year.
They can do it again.
They can do it again. Again, it would help Clemson's strength of schedule for them to win. Yes, absolutely. But again, I'm not going to use that as my barometer as to how they're going to play at the Swamp in front of about 80,000 sweating Floridians. Floridians, excuse me, Floridians.
Despite the fact that it's November, it still gets pretty hot. in
It's
Florida.
sticky. It's sticky at the swamp. They call it the swamp for a reason.
This next one, Matt, this matchup is going to be very intriguing. Washington at Oregon. Oregon is in the driver's seat for a potential playoff spot with Bo Nix playing like Heisman candidate. Who thought that would be a statement being said in November?
Yeah, the words Bo Nix and Heisman shouldn't be in the same sentence. But I'll be honest with you, the team that's turned it around the most since the first game of the season, absolutely Oregon, man.
Oregon.
Took that beat down from the UGA guys. Had 49 points scored on them in Atlanta. Turned around. Now they're averaging over 40 points a game in offense. And again, that name is coming up. You hear people talking about him all the time now out west. But again, competition out there a little different than when you get on the other side of the Mississippi. I just being honestly, I'm a little bit biased about that because I've watched it for about 30 years now and paid a lot of attention to it. I'll take Oregon. I think Oregon right now on a roll. I think they're going to roll into the Pac-12 championship game. It's going to be Oregon and Southern Cal in that Pac-12 championship game.
That'll be a great game. I'm going to take Oregon as well. What about you?
I'm taking Oregon. Bo Nix is playing out, lights out. He's got his A game on. They picked up momentum. Like I said, when the season first started, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Because Georgia really took care of business with them. But
Took the air right out of those guys
I
at the
didn't
beginning of
see them turn it around like
yeah,
that.
and what a great coaching
Yeah.
job. You have to mention that too. You know, Dan Lanning goes up there and a guy's known for defense. This team's putting out a lot of offense.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep.
Next matchup. This is going to be interesting when Gary and I were talking about this earlier. TCU and Texas. TCU's got another big test. Have they put together a complete game, though? Are they worthy of a top 4 spot? Many, many questions. Texas always seems to be in this national conversation.
All right, now I think I might have told you this story before.
Okay, you might have.
I got a buddy in Austin.
You do?
He's kind of famous.
Yeah.
He's a movie star.
Okay.
He's well known for saying stuff like, all right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right.
His name's Matthew McConaughey. Me and Matthew met a long time ago. And he told me never bet against Texas, and I'm not doing it. And I got a cousin, Tommy Langley. They call him the Wild Man down in Greenwood, South Carolina. He plays golf every day of his life. Ex-Marine, as a matter of fact, Veterans Day, he's an ex-Marine. Tommy, this is for you. Hook 'em horns. I'm going with the horns, and this one it's an upset, and I think they take them down inside of Arlington.
All right, all right, all right. I'm going to Texas. I changed my mind on this one, actually. Because I think Texas being at Texas and the atmosphere there.
And they got Wooderson on the sidelines.
Yeah. I mean, TCU is finally going to, that little train's going to come to her. There's a little 4 spot there that's going to end.
I'm going to take TCU. I'm going to be the lone wolf this week. You got to go big or go home.
Yeah. Well,
Quinn
there you
Johnson and Max Duggan. Don't let me down now.
go. Yeah. All right. So what we got next?
Next, we got our 2 final ACC matchups. North Carolina, who many Clemson fans believe are on track to play them in Charlotte, versus Wake Forest, who's kind of fallen off as of recently.
I'm going to go choo-choo-choo. I believe they are also on that track to be with Clemson in the ACC title game. There's nobody on that side of the conference that can play with these guys. They've got the best quarterback in the country who should be in the Heisman conversation right now, and he's not. He's got the best, smoothest release I've ever seen. I'll be honest with you. He scares the dickens out of me when Clemson does get them in Charlotte because you're going to be in a shootout, and Clemson better have their better A game on offense for that one.
That'll be a match I'm going to take UNC.
I'm going to take UNC over Wake Forest at Wake Forest because the atmosphere there it'll be half blue. It'll be a half and half stadium. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Gary. UNC, I believe, is underranked, and their quarterback is, in my opinion, the best quarterback.
Now I'll be honest with you, it will be a shootout this week because neither one of them can play defense.
That's
right.
Neither one of them know how to play defense. I mean, Wake used to know how to play defense when Elko was there years ago, but not anymore.
Well, and that'll wrap it up, actually, guys. And then
We got a big one. We got a big one. Yeah,
big one.
the one we're all here to talk about.
We're all here to talk
The
about
Cardinals from Louisville.
Cardinals.
It's Clemson Sports News. We're talking about the Louisville Cardinals coming to Clemson. Go ahead, Grayson.
So we like to do. So, guys, I was a little wrong last week when I made my prediction.
I think we all were.
I think I was on the wrong side of it. I was like, this is going to be a blowout. This is going to be a
You weren't
game.
alone, my friend. You weren't alone. This national media as well as us were fooled quite well last week. We got punched in the nose.
I took a leap and I really didn't look.
I
But you know
will
what?
quote Dabo Swinney, and I tweeted it after the game. Ready?
All right.
All right, folks, this is the internet, so you can bleep this out if you want to. We got our asses kicked, plain and simple. Quote, unquote, Dabo Swinney. And he's right.
Quoting, you're okay.
Yeah, he was quote, unquote, and that's exactly what he said. And, yes, that's exactly what happened.
But regardless of what happened last week, I think sometimes you got to fall down, you got to pick yourself back up and reevaluate the situation. Might take Clemson 28-21. In a tightly contested matchup, a little bit lower scoring, but I think Clemson does just enough this weekend, gets by, and gets back in that win column that they desperately need.
I like that one. I like that one a lot. I'm going to go a little better than that. I'm going to go 30-20. Clemson over Louisville. You'll have a slightly wet track tomorrow. Rain showers off and on tomorrow. And Not much wind, 4 to 5 miles an hour. I think I checked on that. Not much wind there, but it'll be a wet game. It won't be sloppy wet, but it'll just be wet. And I think Clemson coming out of last week is going to be experimenting with a couple of things. I think the playbook's been held back quite a bit this year. I think it's time to open up the playbook and start letting these guys play football.
I think we see a trick play in the first drive.
I
we're trying to
think
see
you're
something-
exactly
something
right. That's the
creative.
kind of thing I'm talking about. Something that just opens up and go, wow, we're back.
It's like
Okay.
what they did. It was the Boston College game. It was right after
The triple,
the NC State loss.
the-
where they did like the triple reverse.
the triple
Justin
reverse,
Ross.
the reverse pass.
Yep.
But go ahead, big man. What you got going?
Well, we're in the valley. We got 38 in a row. We're going for 39. We're going to get 39. Like I said, they got their ass handed to them, and I just think when they showed up for practice this week, Dabo was on them, and I think they're going to change some things around. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. This will be a little more like 24-17 Clemson.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, well, listen, a great show, Grayson,
Yeah.
Josh, good job.
Yeah.
Folks, Duck Donuts here.
Donuts.
I'm telling you, man, Josh, step out of the way. There's folks even look at all these folks in here getting their donuts here to go. Look at the kids over here and enjoy. Look at them. Got their hands over there just staring at those folks making those donuts. It's like, wow, look at those donuts getting made. But hey, I remember when I was like that. I remember we used to go to the donut shop and look at them make donuts.
It was a treat.
It was a treat. And the smells, man, that come out of this place. When they open the door here, I think they just kind of draw people in. They don't realize how good it is.
It's like you're a cartoon character. You start floating in the air when there's a pie on the window.
Well, put it this way. Again, I'm gonna go sneak out of here with probably half a dozen. Don't tell the
probably
girl.
is.
Don't tell the girlfriend. All right.
Don't do
And we'll be back. We'll be back to Duck Donuts soon here in the future. Probably, I'd say around basketball. Right when basketball starts to get really moving, we'll come back over and talk a little basketball with these folks over. Being from Iowa, I think they can appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
Hawkeyes used to be a really good basketball program.
Tigers taking on the Gamecocks tomorrow night in Columbia. That'll be a fun matchup.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
right. That's
A
tonight.
little early. Yeah, that's tonight.
That's tonight, folks. 7:00. Matter of fact, about to hit the ring, hit the court over in Columbia. Tigers and Gamecocks. Thomas Woods, our intern, the other side of the staff, he's supposed to be monitoring that game for us. We'll be out of here in a minute. We'll be reporting on it. That is tonight. Tigers versus Gamecocks, South Carolina rivalry basketball.
And they got their home stretch next week, I think, starting on Tuesday with USC Upstate. I'm excited. I'm hopefully going to be able to cover that, those first couple home games before they start the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Well, yeah, you are going to be
That's
able to
gonna be
cover it
fun.
because you're going to be up in the press box the whole time, all season long. Get ready. Grayson and Thomas are going to
Ready.
be your guys. They'll be doing CSN lives every once in a while from up the basketball land. You'll see Grayson pop up with the press in the press box on the court side or out, backstage, back behind
I'll pop up.
the interview area there. But guys, have a great night. It's a beautiful rainy Friday night here. We're going to make our way through traffic back to Clemson. Again, Duck Donuts, our sponsor, our host this week is amazing here on Pelham Road. And I want to say, everybody be safe out there. Coming to Clemson tomorrow. It's a 3:30 game. Take your time. Don't it's an all-day affair when it's 3:30. So just don't come running into town thinking, hey, I got to hurry up and get there. It'll be there. But have fun tomorrow and go Tigers.
Pack the Valley. Be loud.